On the afternoon of August 25, 2025, Los Angeles police received a report about a suspect who had previously assaulted an officer in Palmdale. When discovered, the suspect fled in a white Toyota, driving at high speed. The reckless behavior and risk of collision put numerous vehicles on the road in danger.
This person is wanted for ADW on a peace officer. It sounds like he got into a fight with the sheriff's department somewhere in the Palmdale area, and that's when we first heard the pursuit. It was around Pear Blossom Highway and Sierra Highway, and then eventually got on the southbound side of the 14 freeway, exited around Escondido, and now ultimately has made it over here to making our way.
Multiple units from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department and the California Highway Patrol were deployed. Helicopters tracked the suspect from above, while ground units set up spike strips to block the road.
Went right underneath the freeway. There might have been another spike strip attempt under that overpass. You can see CHP and the Sheriff's Department. Actually, I believe it's primarily the Sheriff's Department at this point. CHP could get engaged in this at some point. I know they were trying to get him into position when he was traveling on the 14, but we believe that he is, the driver has ran over at least one spike strip within the past couple of minutes. And now on surface streets, but
the suspect's car ran over at least one spike strip, forcing it to slow.
Lots of sheriff units as well as the CHP there, all behind the car at this point, giving commands. We'll zoom in here briefly. Hands out the window. Looks like there's a passenger in there as well. So hands up on both sides. And we'll widen out here for just a moment. Once he's out of the car, we'll make sure that he's cooperating and we don't have any sort of incident here. But the driver talking with authorities here, again, wanted for assault on a peace officer, some sort of altercation with the Sheriff's Department in the Palmdale area, and has now come to a stop. The driver's out. You can see the response here. Several units from the CHP and the Sheriff's Department, as well as a helicopter right overhead. And it looks like the driver is out. Hands are up, guns drawn from both agencies here. And they're giving commands. He should be backing up here in just a moment.
Stopping on Soledad Canyon Road, officers surrounded the vehicle. The driver and passenger raised their hands and exited, moving toward officers under gunpoint.
Passenger still in the vehicle, at least on the front side of the front passenger. Don't know if anyone's in the back of the car. And starting to back up towards the CHP here. So once they have the cuffs on this guy, they're going to have the passenger step out here, and then we'll find out if anybody else is in the car. But at least two people at this point in that white Toyota stopped here on Soledad Canyon Road near Canyon Country. So he is being detained at this point, and whether or not the driver or the passenger is ultimately the one that's wanted in connection with that fight, or both, not entirely sure at this point. But looks like both hands still out the passenger side. Gonna reach over, start making their way out. Looked like something was in his lap there for a moment. Okay, scooch that off to the side, so that's good. Okay, hands are clear. Don't see any other movement inside the car. So it seems to be complying here. Don't see anything around the waistband, so that's good news. And we'll widen out here just for a moment. We'll kind of give you an idea of what it looks like around here. Soledad Canyon obviously is closed down here at Shadow Pines Boulevard here briefly while more units respond here from the Sheriff's Department and the CHP. Several guns drawn on this car, and anybody that might be inside. I believe to be only two at this point, but they will make an approach here shortly once this guy has backed up towards officers. Again, this pursuit starting in the Palmdale area. We first started hearing it around Pear Blossom Highway and Sierra Highway. Sheriff's Department, Palmdale Sheriff, was in pursuit. They eventually made it onto the southbound side of the 14, exited somewhere in Agua Dulce, and then went on Agua Dulce Road and Soledad Canyon Road, and then eventually came to a stop here after running over at least one spike strip, possibly two that were laid out.
The chase ended without civilian casualties, and both suspects were handcuffed at the scene. Though the situation concluded peacefully, it proves that resisting or fleeing only makes matters more serious.
Alternate route.
On the afternoon of January 11, 2024, the California Highway Patrol pursued a suspect wanted for property vandalism. The individual was driving a silver pickup truck on Interstate 10. From the outset, the vehicle sped recklessly, swerving through traffic, ignoring red lights, and endangering numerous motorists.
At least one person in the truck, and something else that may be in there with the driver, possibly an animal. We saw him seemed to be kind of wrestling with something within the vehicle. The car was swerving out of control and then all of a sudden exited. And again, this is a pursuit that's been ongoing for at least the last 20 minutes or so. We first originally heard it on the 10 freeway where he just crashed into an SUV here.
Throughout the chase, the suspect nearly lost control multiple times, collided with a white SUV, and even threw a dog out of the window. The vehicle repeatedly ran red lights, sped through residential neighborhoods and commercial areas, and drove against traffic on crowded roads.
Boulevard here. Let's see if he makes it back out to the boulevard. No, he's going to continue through. And it looks like there's a door. Well, needless to say, it would appear that he did throw a dog from the vehicle here on the driver's side. So there's hopefully that dog is going to be okay. But earlier we did see him wrestling around with something within the cab of that truck. It did appear to be some sort of animal, and we're hearing now that it is indeed a dog that fell out or was thrown out of this truck. You can see a little bit of front end damage there where he collided with that white SUV. Now continuing through a residential area with at least one unit directly behind the pickup truck and the air unit still above. We'll try and get a view out the window to see if there's any other CHP units that are in close proximity, or if they're going to request any PD or sheriff to assist with this pursuit now that he's in a residential area. You can see another black and white and another that's also in trail. I'm not entirely sure which agency that is. It would appear that they are PD vehicles from another agency other than the CHP. And he's slowing down a little bit here through the residential area.
CHP, along with several other agencies, surrounded the suspect, deployed helicopters, laid spike strips, and attempted to force the vehicle to stop.
Gestures. Let's see, he's making another turn here. We're just listening to the radio traffic as well with the CHP and the other black and white units that are directly behind this pickup truck. All right, still continuing through the residential area. It looked like he was ready to get out of the vehicle, but then immediately closed the driver door and continued going here. Still in the Pomona area. We're not sure if he's familiar with this area or not. We'll see if he circles back around to that same street. He is going in that general direction once again. And let's see if he makes another turn. No, he's going to go through. So still staying in the same residential area, just not on the street where he was planning to possibly exit the pickup truck just a few minutes ago. Looked like we had a couple of units on the street corner there. I'm not entirely sure if they threw out a spike strip. It was a little difficult to see whether or not they attempted to throw out a spike strip to slow him down. But he is picking up some speed here, about 40 miles an hour through the residential area. So hopefully we don't see any plea behind. We got at least two units of the CHP directly behind this pickup as he's making his way down Mission Boulevard back towards the 60. And we'll find out here in just a moment whether or not he decides to get back onto the freeway or not. And he's going to make another turn here on Phillips Drive from Mission Boulevard. And we're not seeing as erratic driving as we did earlier. Again, he did have an animal that was in the pickup truck that did either fall or was thrown from the truck. Hopefully that animal's okay.
Vandalism, apparently spray painting some graffiti somewhere. Again, this taking place in Pomona, and this driver, we believe at one point he actually threw an animal outside of the car, and he's been racing on residential streets and commercial streets, and this guy's totally out of control.
Yeah, this started around 1:30, according to officials around the 10 freeway. He's been in Diamond Bar and Pomona. Again, as Glenn mentioned, wanted for vandalism, possibly graffiti. And he just had a head-on collision.
He just literally
with
this red car on the overpass
driver.
As the chase neared Highway 71 Mission Boulevard, the pickup truck crashed head-on into a red car in a violent collision. The driver of the red car was fortunate to escape unharmed, managing to step out on their own as medical teams arrived.
As they work to take this driver into custody, but just moments ago, driving on the wrong way against traffic and slamming into that red car. Hopefully the driver or the occupants of that car are going to be okay. Looks like the officers are checking up. Looks like we're seeing somebody move there. An airbag was deployed, so hopefully that driver will be okay. The suspect he's not holding anything in his hands, but now he brings it back down. So we'll push in here just for a moment here. Officers going to make an approach, and they will likely pull him out from the cab of the truck here. Okay. They're going to hold the canine back as officers have now made it to the driver's side door, and they'll try and pull him out.
Although the suspect sustained a minor head injury, he barricaded himself inside the vehicle before being subdued by K9 and officers, handcuffed, taken for medical treatment, and later handed over to investigators. The incident resulted in no civilian casualties, but once again demonstrated